Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I am Susan, your hostess, and we are participating in the hashtag POB challenge. This is hosted by Bushcraft Family, and I was challenged by Lake Files. So I wanted to get this out here, and I wanted to share with you what we do on the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. We actually prep every single day. There is no stopping to us prepping. Um, whether it is food or other items that you need to make you a list out and get yourself prepped. Now, you're not going to prep all in one day. It is something that takes a little time to gather items over time. We continuously prep for any kind of disaster around here. Um, Buying seeds is a whole lot cheaper than going to the grocery store and buying groceries. Plus, you know what foods you're getting, where they came from, how they were grown. We resource our meats. We buy through a local rancher butcher. Now, this is not necessarily cheaper, but we are getting organically grown meats, and they are meats that we can consume, and we know that they're healthy for us. Um, I look for sales. Y'all, if you've watched my channel at all, you know that I am somebody that loves to go thrifting. We look for sales in thrift stores and discount groceries for foods that we can eat and use, but also uh, for other items that we can prep with. So I'm going to show you an item that we just recently picked up. This is a 40 channel two-way emergency CB radio. I'm going to open the box up and hopefully show you what it contains. It contains a handheld CB radio. It has an antenna. It's got the cords with it, and it's got a hanger right here. This little attachment here is a hanger. And we paid $4.99 for this. Now, if you go online and you look at CB radios, you're going to pay a lot more money than that for it. And we can take it to our local CB shop if it needs any adjusting or anything like that. So it's a big savings for us, and it's something that will be helpful if we ever have a power outage or we lose our communication, like our cell phones and internet service. We can have this as a backup. I've got a long list here, y'all. We look for discount groceries or items on sale that we know that we will eat and use. We don't just go out and buy haphazardly anything that's on sale. We actually buy foods that we will use. And I read all the labels because I don't want a list of ingredients on anything that I bring into my house because of all my autoimmune things. I look for long-term storage items as well as the immediate consumption items. And I never pay full price if I can find it cheaper. One of the things that you can do that is absolutely free, yes, I said free, is use your brain and plan ahead. You need to be planning for emergency situations, how you will react. Do you need any supplies set aside for an emergency situation, such as an earthquake or tsunami or hurricane or natural disasters, man-made disasters, war, any number of situations? You need to have all those plans ahead of time of what you're going to do. If you've got family that you're going to meet with, or if you have to bug out, what are your plans? And you need to exercise those plans often with your family. In other words, run scenarios with them to let them get that idea planted in their head. This is what we do, and this is how we do it. So when an emergency hits, you're not rushed and you're not frantic. So you want to do those in advance. We look for prepper items at yard sales, thrift stores, estate sales, and places like Craigslist. We got that at a thrift store. This little CB, we picked that up at a thrift store, and it's in a carrying case, so it's really handy. We have picked up all kinds of prepper items, even in giveaways. If you go online and you see giveaways and you win those giveaways, my husband won a pack of the Patriot foods that are 25 years storage, so we have that as a backup for a month or 2 months. Things like that, you can win items online, so keep doing those giveaways. We also rotate our pantry so that we use our older foods first, so everything gets rotated. We don't just have a separate stash for in case of emergency, except for that bucket of food. But you can make your own meals, prep your own meals ahead of time, get them sealed in the Mylar bags or jars, and you'll have plenty of meals ready to go that all you would have to do is maybe add water to. We raise our chickens, ducks, and turkeys, and we raise them for eggs and meat. We do a lot of bartering. We will barter with other people when we need items, or they may need something that we have, or a service that we need, so forth. So we do a lot of bartering. We think out of the box and we repurpose and reuse items. We don't just run out and grab another item because we think we need it. We think about what we already have in our home or in our supplies, and we try to repurpose items whenever we can. We stock up on batteries at least once a year. And I've already talked about the communications. We have oil lamps. I've got a whole shelf of oil lamps. Let me show you. I'm going to turn my camera. And, well, I'm getting my hand in the way. Way up there at the top, there's some of our oil lamps. Now, we don't pay full price for those either. We pick those up at thrift stores. But you also want to make sure that you have the oil that you need for them, your wicks, your globes and everything ready in case of an emergency. If you can't get those, you can get you candles. And there's a little trick that you can do with candles in a clay pot and a couple of bricks. If your power goes out and it's the middle of wintertime, you can actually heat a room with tea light candles, 2 bricks, and a clay pot over it. It will produce enough heat to warm a room. So, I mean, know how to do these things is important. So you've got to think outside your box. Let's see. Knowing how to build a fire. There is a basic, you can go online and find out basic ways to build a fire. But you want it for warmth and cooking. If your power goes out and you don't have any way to cook, you want to know those skills. And you want to have necessary equipment for camp out situations. If you have to bug out, you've got to have something to sleep in. A tent, a sleeping bag, things like that. Could you snare an animal and clean it and cook it in an emergency situation? Do you know how to do that? These are skills that we all need to learn, and they're free. You can learn them while we have the internet. So y'all get out there and start looking at this. Foraging skills. Do you know what plants are edible in your own yard? What plants are medicinal? Um, I've got a couple of medicinals that I make at home. I didn't pull all of them, but this one is probably the number one medicinal that you can have in your house. It is oregano oil. It's olive oil that has been infused with oregano, and it is a super antibiotic. It's really good for you, and you don't need a whole lot of it. Um, Another one would be garlic honey. You take your raw honey, raw local honey, grow your own garlic if you can, and you infuse this, and then you strain off that garlic, and you're left with this beautiful garlic honey, which is another antibiotic, antibacterial number of many number of benefits to this. And then elderberry syrup is another one. I also do a honey and raw purple onion as a way to keep my lungs clear and keep me healthy. And I use that with the elderberry syrup every day. So those are just a few of the medicinals that we use around here. But knowing those is going to help you. If you like to eat mushrooms, do you know how to tell if a mushroom is good for you or poisonous? We need to know these things. Um, Scratch cooking skills. My parents, my grandparents could cook anything from scratch. They could make a meal, make desserts like candies, cakes, cookies, all from scratch. And they were better than anything that we have in the stores today. I guarantee you that. So, learning how to scratch cook is very important. We have a generation that has been raised, well, several generations really, that have been raised on boxed meals from the stores, fast food, and all that stuff. And it's really not healthy for us. When you scratch cook, you know exactly what you're feeding your family. Have everybody in your household go through and build a list that y'all can learn to survive on. Each one, teach one is the case. You want to be able to have that list ready and available for you when you have to bug out or an emergency situation runs up, because sometimes we forget. And if we have a written plan, it's easier for us to follow. Um, Being prepared should be on everyone's minds. Learning to survive in the earthquakes and all of that is something that we all need to put into practice. Um, Learn skills like chopping wood, uh, making candles or making soap, cooking and mending. This will go a long way in all of your preps. Make sure that you have a good source of water supply, whether you buy it in the store or you can it, um, and rotate it. Don't just let it sit on the shelf. Rotate it out, use it. Rotate it out, because you always want to have fresh water, and that's fresh, sterile water if you can it yourself. Transportation. If you didn't have transportation, you couldn't get gasoline. You need good shoes, and you would need an alternate transportation like a bicycle so that you would be able to get from point A to point B. Um, Other things that I prep with are books. Books are invaluable. They take up a little bit of space in your home, but you get so much more information. If the internet goes down tomorrow or today and you couldn't get the information that you needed for something, if you had the books in your library, your home library, you would be able to do just about anything. You want medical books, you want gardening books, you want cookbooks with recipes, you want how to build, how to plumb, how to do electrical. There's a whole thing of books that you could be purchasing. And I get all of mine at thrift stores or yard sales. Well, that's all I have for you today. I am Susan at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. This is the POB Challenge Prep on a Budget. And it is hosted by Bushcraft Family, and my challenge was from Lake Files. Thank you very much for that. And my challenge goes out to Ashley at CNC Farms, Teresa, Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. And let me think, who else am I going to get to do this? I'm going to say Handicapped Traveler, Mr. Dan and Miss Kathy. So y'all get on board with this challenge. It is an open challenge. And let's see what y'all come up with. Make sure you're watching the playlist. It'll be in the description box below this because you're going to learn a lot of information through this challenge. Thank you for watching, my friends, and may you be fully blessed.